The first gym leader is Brock, and he specializes in rock-type Pokemon. There are quite a few rock types in Fire Red and Leaf Green, like Geodude, Onix, Rhyhorn, Aerodactyl, and the Fossils Omanyte and Kabuto. I usually skip the fossils, and today I cannot do that. Here are the rules. The early game will be very hard, but starting with Blaine, the run should ease up a bit. So, let's rock. With the Universal Pokemon Randomizer, I changed Charmander to Geodude. I think with Squirtle, the rival will have the hardest team to beat, considering he will have an Executor as well. I tried a Brock battle at level 14, which matches the level of his Onix. And after the start, I thought it's not going to happen. The damage is very low, and after some defense curls, it's actually 1 damage. It takes a long time, but Geodude actually went down. That's great. Onix doesn't use defense curl or harden, but its damage is way higher as well. Okay, not a direct damage via attacks, but Bind does a lot of damage over the turns. Unfortunately, I go down eventually. The battle is doable on paper, but I would need a lot of critical hits to beat it. So let's just say I can't, and I level up 2 more levels. At level 16, Geodude learns Magnitude. It's one of the best ground type moves in the early game, even while not reliable. I actually thought the number is just a power without a 0 at the end, but it's not that simple. But even with the varying damage, it's still an amazing move for the early to mid game until Earthquake. Brock is easily defeated and the first badge is earned. Let's hope it will stay as easy. Haha, it won't. At the end of Mount Moon I can choose a fossil, and this time I will use it because they are rock types. I could go for Omanyte, but I want Kabuto for this run. I think Kabuto is pretty cool. Yeah, that's it, that's the reason. In Cerulean City are 2 major battles, and one of them should be completely impossible for several more levels, and the other one is a rival. This battle is very interesting because technically I can win this battle, it's impossible. The rival has to choose to let me win, that's it. Pidgeotto is no big deal, Sand Attack can be annoying, but Squirtle has Water Gun and will use it most of the times to one-hit KO me on the spot. And if it doesn't, well, I just win. The last 2 Pokemon are Abra without any damaging moves and the Rattata, which only has normal type attacks, and my defenses are rock solid. The rival is defeated and I can check out what's behind the Nugget Bridge. It will be a long while before I can challenge Misty. After beating up several trainers on Route 25, I get Geodude to evolve into Graveler. It feels a bit wrong to have it evolve already, but it's the only Pokemon in my team for a while. So it gets all the hard-earned experience points. I tried Misty at level 26, and Staryu is of course not an issue, especially when it uses Harden. I dislike that it's faster, but that's Graveler for you. No comes Starmie, and it will always use Water Pulse, defeating me easily. I have a feeling I need a lot more levels to beat it. In Vermilion City are some minor tasks to do. I get Spearow traded in for Farfetch'd. I won't use it in battle, but I need to use Cut somehow, and flying is quite nice. I need a lot of experience anyway, so I challenged the rival on SSN again. Graveler outlevels every Pokemon a lot, but Wartortle could use Water Gun, and that would actually one-hit KO Graveler from the full HP. The rival uses the moves at random, I believe, and I just need to try as often as possible to see withdraw and then win. Pidgeotto, Kadabra and Raticate can't do anything against me anyway. I just need to make sure to change up moves against Kadabra because the Sable can be annoying. But that's it. The rival is defeated. After giving the captain a little rub for the HM cut, I can leave SSN for good. I tried Misty every level and need to get a lot of speed, so I beat only Rattata and Spearow just east of Cerulean City. At level 34 I'm finally faster, but this battle was so stressful for no reason. First a Staryu, 1 Mega Punch and it's over. Now comes Starmie, I'm faster, nearly KO, and then get Water Pulse, hit and confuse. I thought of course what else could possibly happen, but I push through and beat Starmie with 2 more hits. Misty is finally defeated and I can go on to finish up the rest of the early game, while Graveler is at an insane high level. Lieutenant Search is usually quite easy, and Geodude can beat it on its own, so Graveler, with some few more levels on it, will just defeat his entire team with 1 magnitude each. I mean, this was to be expected, right? Lieutenant Search stood no chance, and I'm not looking forward to the next gym leader considering the team I might have. Finally, in Rock Tunnel is the next teammate, Onix. Even though it's nice to have a new Pokemon in the team, it is unfortunately an Onix. Not sure if I can make it work, considering Graveler is in the same team and I can't evolve Onix in this game. Steelix would be amazing. After Rock Tunnel waits the rival at Pokemon Tower for a little battle, but as the battles before, he is not an issue as long as Wartortle can't hit back. Onix tries to deal as much damage as possible and can KO a Pidgeotto, which is something I guess. But Wartortle just using one water gun and Onix is defeated. Graveler is at such a high level, it can tank one hit and I even used the wrong move. Mega Punch sounds fine, but it doesn't have 100% hit rate and Magnitude might have been better, especially since I missed once. Against Execute can happen a lot, considering it has Reflect, Hypnosis and Leech Seed, but I get a crit and it's over. Very important to use a different move against Kadabra because of the Sable, but it's down against every move. Last is Growlithe, it's weak to ground, so let's use a Magnitude and the dog is down as well. The rival is defeated and that's most likely the last major battle for a while, considering Erika is at a little advantage against me. In Cerulean City are the usual chores to do. Grabbing the T to enter Saffron City, getting the HM for Fly, and the coin case. It's not necessary, but I sometimes grab the TMs for Reflect, Light Screen and Safeguard. Enough stalling. I battle Erika and the battle went exactly as I expected it to be. First Victorel and Onix can't do anything here. Just using one Screech to set up the KO for Graveler with Mega Punch or Magnitude doesn't make a huge difference. Erika will use Vileplume next and I see Magnitude's damage, which was very important. First of all, I'm faster, that is game changing. And then Magnitude did an amazing amount of damage. So, is it possible? Let's try some more. I did a lot of tries and at try number 49 I got a chance. Erika has a Victory Bell, but it is quite a bit weaker than Vileplume, so Magnitude 8 is enough to KO. Vileplume comes next and Magnitude 8 is not enough, but 9 is. And Vileplume goes down. Last is Tangela, but I can just use Self-Destruct to end the battle on the spot. I know, this didn't look hard at all, but I needed a lot of tries to get 2 good Magnitudes in a row, but I got it. The leader of Team Rocket is underneath the Celadon game corner. Giovanni has a very similar team to me, but I know how to use TMs and he does not. The idea was to use Screech first to lower the defense and then dig for Onix and Rhyhorn. Against Kangaskhan, Screech first is good as well because Onix doesn't deal a lot of damage. But I didn't want to use Graveler the whole fight. Kangaskhan is just so tanky, it took several turns, but Onix wins against it in the end, only leaving Rhyhorn. But Rhyhorn has no moves against Onix. The best it could do is Scary Face and then use Stomp and hope for flinches. Giovanni loses in the end and I get the Silph Scope to allow me to reach the top of Pokemon Tower. Getting the Pokeflute is very important because the only thing in my way to reach the next Pokemon for my team is this darn Snorlax. In Fuchsia City is the Safari Zone and here are a lot of nice items, but most importantly, here are wild Rhyhorns. They are quite hard to catch, but I got lucky and can add one to my team. And while I'm visiting the city, I can challenge the next gym leader Koga. His team is very weak to mine, so it should be quite easy to beat, especially after leveling up my team. First is Coughing and Onix can handle it. First Screech and then 2 Rock Throws to beat it. Coughings are not a problem, I think. Next is Muk and this was quite frustrating at first. I wanted to hit with Screech but missed first and then again thanks to Minimize. I realized Rhyhorn has Stomp and there's a nice interaction with Minimize, doubling the damage of Stomp. But a crit also helped. Next Coughing and I hit it and crit again for an easy KO. That was really nice to see. Last is Koga's Ace Wheezing and there isn't much I can do, so I just throw attacks at it until the HP bar is at 0, while Wheezing doesn't do a whole lot. Koga is defeated and I can use Surf outside of battle, which is super important now. In Pewter City, right behind the bush, is the museum back entrance. The scientist has a nice fossil for me to get. And that will become very important, because I can travel south to Cinnabar Island and enter the laboratory to get my fossils revived to real Pokemon. That adds Kabuto and Aerodactyl to my team. After a quick and easy level up session, I can challenge the rival in Silph Co, seeing how far I've come. Of course, seeing Blastoise in the team is quite scary, but at the same time, Let's see. I start with Aerodactyl and use Ancient Power against Pidgeot. It does not KO, but the chance to get a boost is very interesting, and I use it again, but no boost of course. Now comes Blastoise and I switch into Kabuto because of Giga Drain. What I didn't realize is that the stats of Kabuto are so bad. Giga Drain does nearly no damage, which is fine I think, but Bite deals a huge amount. The difference between these moves is crazy. Mine is even super effective. After some back and forth, Kabuto goes down, but I can use Aerodactyl again and finish Blastoise off. The rest of the team is not very good at this point in the run. Execute gets one wing attack to go down. Against Alakazam I use a wing attack, but it didn't even KO. Thankfully, Alakazam doesn't have any damaging moves and goes down right after. Last is Growlithe, but I kept one Ancient Power for this little fire dog. And it is done as well. The rival is defeated first try, but Aerodactyl is basically the overall strongest rock type in the entire game. So it's to be expected. The final boss of the Silph Co arc is Giovanni, and his team is very interesting. The only move, which is at least neutral against my team, is Double Kick. That is not good enough. I start with Onix and just use some moves, first Screech, then Dig or something. It's not enough most of the times, but at least I try different moves. The only attack which was really disappointing was Dragon Breath on Nidoqueen, which did like 1 damage tops. To be fair, it's special, and Onix does not have a lot of special attack. Onix also loses against Rhyhorn, but that's okay. I use Kabuto, press on Surf, and the battle is over. Giovanni is defeated and leaves the Silph Co for good. I still need to grab all the items left here and then head over to the next major battle, which is Sabrina, the Psychic type gym leader. I just wanted to try and see how good Aerodactyl actually is against her, and let's say it was pretty good. I primarily use Ancient Power to maybe get a boost, but at the same time I want at least one of it for Venomoth. But Kadabra, Mr. Mime and Venomoth were just not good enough on the defense to win against Aerodactyl. Alakazam can be very terrifying, but it uses Core Mind for some reason, just went down in the end. Sabrina was defeated, and it was the very first try for me. I think Aerodactyl might be a bit too strong here, even though it is part rock. Before making a little detour, I challenged Blaine on Cinnabar Island. Fire is a really bad type against my team, so I just a question if I need 2 Pokemon or just 1. Kabuto, still not evolved, has Surf and beats Growlithe easily. Arcanine can be very scary and it survives a Surf, but Kabuto can take a good hit as well, before hitting again and KO Arcanine. Ponyta is quite weak and has no chance against Kabuto of course. Last's Rapidash and Fire Blast comes and Kabuto survives on 3 HP, that is amazing. Surf hits and KOs, that actually levels Kabuto up to 40 and let it evolve into Kabutops. When Kabuto was so good, Kabutops will be crazy strong. And as promised, I do a little detour now to the Sevi Island. At Mount Ember is a hiker who teaches explosion to one of my Pokemon, and that's perfect for Onix. I have a plan for the Elite Four, and this might be the key to winning the run some levels earlier. While beating up the biker gang on 3 Island, I thought to let Graveler evolve into Golem. It really deserved the evolution. The final gym of the run, Ground type specialist Giovanni. But unfortunately, Kabuto's Surf is faster and one-hit KOs everyone in his team. Very anticlimactic, but hey, water type Pokemon are just that amazing. The last gym is done and now begins the final stretch of the run. I didn't even level up before facing the rival one last time on Route 22, just checking where I stand and if I need to level up more. First is Pidgeot against Aerodactyl and I use Ancient Power, even a nice boost on top. Another one and Pidgeot is down. Against Blastoise I want to use the boost and it doesn't deal a lot of damage. That thing is a tank. I switch into Rhyhorn to let it get KO'd by a water gun. Yes, a water gun. Now comes Onix and I will now see the true power of Explosion. It did about half. Okay, the champion battle will be rough. Aerodactyl back in to KO. And it doesn't. Wow, my team falls apart real easy right now. Kabutops can get the KO with any move. Next is Executor, but Ice Beam hits and KOs from full HP. Now comes Growlers, but I'm not sure what it can do, but take a Surf for a nice and cool swimming session. My Rhyhorn gets KO'd from full with Water Gun, so Surf should easily KO then. Last is Alakazam, and this could be an issue. Surf does overhalf, but Future Sight is just not it, and another Surf gets the KO done. The rival is defeated, and I believe the final champion battle will be way harder than I expected. Onix with the explosion did barely a dent in Blastoise's HP. That will be fun. Before facing the final challenge of the run, Rhyhorn evolves into Rhydon. The stats are just amazing, and I hope this Pokemon will carry me through the Elite Four. I leveled everyone up to level 45. It seems like a good starting point, and I hope to at least see Lance, maybe even the champion, but let's find out. First Elite Four member is Lorelei, based on ice types. That sounds like an easy win for me, but unfortunately they all have a water type attack as well, besides Jinx, and Slowbro isn't an ice type. Well, anyway, I start with Aerodactyl, and Ancient Power deals over half against Dugong, but Ice Beam nearly KOs me in one go. That is actually pretty bad, considering I need Aerodactyl for Jinx later on. Next is Cloyster, and I switch into Kabutops. What I didn't realize is that Cloyster is actually a PP burner with Dive and Protect. I actually lose all Giga Drain PPs here. Maybe I should have used PP ups on it before, maybe later. I don't have any moves left against Slowbro and just spam Surf. It seems to be the strongest move I have left, but Kabutops went down quite quickly. For some reason I thought Golem with Earthquake could handle it, but of course not. What was I thinking? Golem down as well, but the HP should be low enough for Aerodactyl to get the KO, and it did. Next is Jinx, and it is super weak on the physical side and goes down immediately. Last is Lapras, and I just push some damage with Ancient Power but go down. I have 2 Pokemon left, and one of them is Onix. I just press on Explosion and hope for the best. It did KO, which is amazing. Lorelei is defeated, and I can now move on to the next Elite Four member. Next is Bruno, and I am quite interested. If I can even beat him, considering he has a very strong fighting type Pokemon. I use Kabutops first, and the Surf KOs Onix. Bruno uses another Onix, and I use another Surf. Now comes the real battle. Hitmonchan takes a lot of damage from Surf, but Sky Uppercut KOs Kabutops in one go. Aerodactyl comes in, and Wing Attack KOs Hitmonchan. Bruno's Ace Machamp will not be defeated that easily. One Wing Attack does exactly half, and Cross Chop nearly KOs my Flying Rock. I just continue with the damage, and even though switching out might have been a bit better. Anyway, Aerodactyl goes down, and I use Onix next. And yes, I press an Explosion immediately using Onix to KO Machamp. Last is Hitmonlee, and I have Golem, and again I press on Self-Destruct to KO it from full HP. But the Brick Break damage was quite high actually. Bruno is defeated, but my strategy will not work on the next Elite Four member. Agatha is the most annoying battle in this game, not even close. The poison type specialist starts with Gengar, and I go with Aerodactyl. Ancient Power hits below half, but I get a boost, which was really nice to see. Double Team can be quite dangerous, but I have Aerial Ace for this reason, and the first Gengar is defeated. Next is Arbok, and Intimidate brings my attack back to neutral. And Double Edge deals okay damage, but Screech looks like Aerodactyl will go away next turn, and when Iron Tail hits, Aerodactyl was defeated. I use Golem next and get a Screech right before Earthquake hits and KOs Arbok. Against Golbat, it became clear that Screech was actually very good against me, because Confuse Ray let Golem hit itself for nearly half HP, which is crazy. Bite and Flinch, the perfect combination. But I get another chance, and Golem hits with Self-Destruct to KO Golbat. That was close. I use Rhydon against Haunter, and Hypnosis looks bad, but I had a Chesterberry ready. Rock Slide unfortunately doesn't KO, it's close, so the full restore train begins. When both are gone, Rock Slide hits to KO, works out better than expected. Last is Gengar, and I assume that Rhydon won't make it, so Scary Face it is, as setup for the next Pokemon. And yeah, Hypnosis, the worst move one can imagine, and paired with Nightmare makes it so much worse. It got one hit in with Rock Slide, but that's of course not enough to KO Gengar. It takes several turns, but Rhyhorn goes down due to hypnosis basically. Bad move, I don't like it. Only when I get to use it, of course. I choose Kabuto now to beat Gengar, but Silph didn't KO, and hypnosis starts the whole thing over again. Nightmare as well to push more damage. I feel like that is quite unfair, but after a long while Kabuto wakes up to deliver the finishing blow and Gengar is down. Agatha is out of Pokemon and I can finally move on to the last Elite Four member, Lance. This guy specializing on dragons or Pokemon which could be dragon if Pokemon would add a third type, but anyway, the first is Gyarados and it already starts amazingly bad for me. Bite critically hits Rhyhorn and I get only some damage off. I feel like Scary Face might be more useful and then go down the turn after hitting some more damage. I choose Golem next and realize it only has Rollout as rock type move and press on it. As it turns out, it was actually the best move I could have here, because I KO Gyarados in 3 moves with Rollout, 2 hits left. Dragonair comes, but Rollout already has built up too much damage and KOs in 1 hit. The second Dragonair doesn't have a chance either. Rollout comes and rolls over the Dragonair easily. Against Lance's 8th Dragonite, it feels like Golem would be nice, but it's slower and Outrage KOs. I choose Onix next, of course, for the best move it has, Explosion. Dealing slightly more than half, which can be good. Kabuto comes in and Ice Beam should KO, but leaves Dragonite on 1 HP, which would be terrible if not for the freeze. That is amazing, I like it. I can use 2 more Ice Beam and easily KO Dragonite even after full restore, great. Last is Aerodactyl and of course it was so good for me, but Ancient Power hits and grants a boost. That's it, I lose. But Kabuto said not today and survives on 2 HP and then KOs Aerodactyl. That was crazy. Lance is defeated and it was so close. I had my own Flying Rock left, but it would just get destroyed in 1 go anyway. Now, on to the final battle. The champion battle is basically impossible at that point, but for 2 specific reasons. One is Blastoise. It has Hydro Pump and that move one-shots everyone in my team. And let's be honest here for a moment. That move is technically 80% hit rate, but it always hits. It's amazing. I have a strategy in mind to beat it, but it brings me to the other reason. I am missing a TM. I need to go get it. And I miss a lot of damage actually. And some speed. And that means I get the TM, level up a bit more, and then come back to beat the champion once and for all. At the power plant is TM17 Protect. That one could be the key to victory for this battle, but let's find out. The final battle in this run, I have all pieces in place and started the Elite Four at level 50 instead, still below Lorelei's cloister. The battle begins with Kabuto against Pidgeot. I first use Metal Sound to lower special defense and then use 1 Ice Beam to KO Pidgeot. Next is Rhyhorn and Surf is so strong it 1-hit KOs. Now comes Executor and I know Kabuto won't make it, so I use 1 Ice Beam for some damage and go down. I choose Aerodactyl and use Fly twice. Sleep Powder missed, but it didn't matter because I had a Lumberry ready for this situation. The champion's ace Blastoise is here. The biggest headache. Here's the strategy. I use Protect to remove 1 Hydro Pump PP and a switch into Rhyhorn to remove another. Afterwards, Onix comes in and uses Dig to waste not 1 but 2 PPs. Only 1 is left and that is another Protect of Aerodactyl. I know this is a very interesting strategy, but I don't know how to beat Hydro Pump otherwise. Unfortunately, Aerodactyl didn't have pressure either. No, the battle isn't won at that point. I still need either an Ancient Power boost or I need to KO Blastoise with some good amount of HP remaining. This time it is a boost. When Blastoise goes down, Alakazam comes in and 1 Double Edge KOs easily. Last Pokemon off the run is Arcanine and Aerodactyl can't beat it. It is not possible. But when it goes down, Golem can come in and I have Earthquake which doesn't KO. I realized later it was actually possible to still lose here, because I forgot to add a Lumberry to Golem to remove the burn if Flamethrower gets a burn onto it. But I got lucky and I just had to push through all full restores and then hit for the final KO on Arcanine, beating the champion, winning the most important battle of the run, and the champion title of Rock Specialist goes to me. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any suggestions or advice, please let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching and I see you in the next one.